I dedicate the political ideology of Anbu Udayam Party to our Republic of India and my fellow 147 crore citizens. Sembootsei M. Subhash Babu, President, Anbu Udayam Party. There is no need to exaggerate about me and about the Anbu Udayam Kachi politics to you here. At the same time, success or failure in life is a natural thing that happens to anyone in any endeavor. Whatever it is, it's in the world that everyone has the maturity to accept it. So, nothing that happened to me here was naturally or casually. Even so, everyone will arise wonderly with questions about how I was able to accept it and how did I tolerate it, that I know that all of this was very well planned and deliberate to me by them. In all periods of the world, there is no exception in being conducted for anyone newcomers to a field to be treated this way by those already in that field. I was affected by them on that basis. It is because I, as a citizen in our democratic country of India, what things that happened to me through the rulers I faced on it that day, all of that calmly, that, now on that basis, I am able to present to you the masses with such publicly these things all to you today from my hometown with my all political protection as an individual as myself as per our Constitution of India. As an ordinary citizen, an honest politician and as a Democrat that now also as an individual, it is that I am able to freely present the things to you. Those who have caused us political effect and those who have caused administrative problems are safe in the government. And running the government as representatives of the people, those have done all those things not as an individual, those who are elected by fellow citizens of voters, that although it will be understood, it's depth only of the democracy when it happens to each person. It is the duty of concern to those who care about their fellow citizens to take that into account in a democracy. In this, these which are in as the pillars of the democracy, that all the executive, Parliament, legislature, judiciary, the Election Commission of India, Controller and Auditor General of India and media, namely magazines, television channels and radio channels, and social media's YouTube channels, Facebook posts, etc. Among the citizens living in a democratic country, here, regardless of any field. The success and failure of any related individual person is, it's not only about a matter of that related to the single individual person's personal success or failure. It is a matter of that related to the one country. It is a matter of that related to the political rights of the every citizens who are all as the people of the nativity in that country, which is about the matter of development of the country. The people of the country are the only most important here in this. Because of this, on the basis of welfare and security of the nation and welfare and security of the people, here, the personal likes and dislikes of any individual shouldn't be given away space in democracy. If first of all my fellow citizens in election you give them space like that, they will spoil the whole democratic setup in the country. Those representatives will destroy mainly the citizens who elected them in those elections. Then through the Election Commission of India next each of that the executive and judiciary, you will lose your place there. That as a president of Anbu Udayam Kachi, I Sembootsei M.Subash Babu hereby proclaim in the democratic warning to people of the Republic of India. If the members of the Union Parliament, state legislative assemblies and local bodies, namely the people of the democratic country, the citizens who are the voters, properly perform their democratic duty in electing their representatives through elections, then the government civil servants working at all departmental levels in the government structure will themselves automatically begin to properly perform their duty of office. The most dangerous form of government, system of governance in regimes in the world so far is this democracy. There are no flaws in democratic practices. But it is the most difficult thing in a democracy only to determine that, is a government run by the people's representatives who handle this government a democracy? Or is a government run by those in power, the rulers, a democracy? Even now, the Anbu Udayam Kachchi is hesitant to directly point out what is currently in place in the governance system from a political perspective and to articulate it from an administrative perspective. Because in a democratic country, the important matter in this is that one of the fellow citizens who can be elected by this masses of the people through elections is being theirs representatives here. In a democratic country, voters casting a vote in the elections held every 5 years is not just a big deal. In this, the crucial aspect lies in understanding under whose leadership to elect their representatives. The destiny fate of the nation and the destiny fate of its people depends on this choice. It depends on those who are elected. Therefore, voters must understand this well and cast their votes under the right leadership. This will enable voters to choose the right candidates as their representatives in the election. Therefore, the success of democracy lies in understanding the rulers in terms of their individual character and choosing them through elections by the citizens of the country. This is the appeal I, Sembootsei M. Subhash Babu, the leader of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi, make to the citizens in therefore what it means does much to understand the democratic country. Although democracy is considered the best form of government in the evolution of the systems of governance that forms have occurred in the world so far in the current period. In this democratic system of government that implemented all the types of governance systems that have conducted to exist by rulers in this world so far. That is, government has been run by rulers including those that are defined in the types as failed systems of governance in world and all of the listed in the dictionary of history. Furthermore, these rulers, the representatives of people, ruling party and opposition party, are responsible for all the mistakes and crimes they committed while they were in that government. Has been deceived the people right before their eyes, simply by saying that, I did all this for the country and the people. For all the mistakes and crimes they have committed in this way. In this case, they hold the country and its people responsible, and as well as they make the people together complicit within those mistakes and crimes. In democratic country, they make to create numerous escape routes like this to establish themselves continuously administratively abusive as rulers, as representatives, and deceiving fraudulently the people like this. And get away with it. In democracy, they have been conducting the all three-tier government level. They have been being as representatives of the people those who are elected by the voters in election, are members of the government bodies such as parliament, legislative assemblies and local bodies. And because of this is how they have been escaping accountability, namely executive, judiciary, the Election Commission of India, the Controller and Auditor General of India from the other pillars of democracy enshrined in the government structure as per Constitution for a long time. And along with media outlets that brings political news to citizens, these criminals and thugs in politics are more dangerous, terrible to the country than the criminals, thugs, terrorists in society. What would the country be like if the people elected such people as their representatives through elections and handed over the government to them? It is with people like these who the masses of general public a democratic country and namely in laity should be wary of during elections. And because of this Anbu Udayam Kachchi emphatically presents this point to the citizens of this democratic country, urging them to act cautiously as voters in the election. From this, the Anbu Udayam fundamental political philosophy emerged, on the basis of the biggest question on democratic political process, that, how do we, the citizens of a democratic country, politically recover from these rulers? representatives and their worst democratic practices in this Anbu Udhayam politics grand democratic approach. It is integrating the citizens of that democratic country, the government, from a perspective of a ruler, along with those representatives who are in the ruling party and opponent parties, and operating administratively this government with them. Like this, it is on the basis with administrative practical possibilities of running a government in under absolute popular rule, that Anbu Udhayam Kachchi entered in Indian politics. In this 21st century beginning, the Anbu Udhayam politics policy government democratic approach, that it is Anbu Udhayam from the perspective of a ruler, how to integrate into that government the citizens of a democratic country, and how to use this people to work together within that government, and how to make continuously to involve participating those people in that government. That, on this basis, Anbu Udhayam politics entered politics with the system of governance in regime practical possibilities of running a government in the next step in democratic evolution. The guardians of the democratic news, messages of the news of a democratic country, namely media are magazine, television channels and radio channels etc., which is publishing and broadcasting politically to their readers and viewer of their subscribers as his fellow citizens of news of the people of a democratic country. But in terms of political policy, the country's third leadership party, the Anbu Udhayam Kachchi, has not conveyed any of the political news provided to the media to its fellow citizens in a timely and appropriate manner as part of the political news of a citizen of a democratic country. Therefore, the media did not create and provide an election opportunities and political opportunities for the citizens of the Indian democratic country to understand Anbu Udhayam Kachchi politics properly and make their political decisions democratically in elections. That now Anbu Udhayam Kachchi is publicly leveling this accusation upon the media, which is considered the fourth pillar of democracy. The Anbu Udhayam Kachchi has received these bitter sentiments from the media in the field of journalism. At the same time, as a registered party by the Election Commission of India, has also not provided to us any appropriate guidelines in terms of financial resources for the Anbu Udhayam Kachchi to conduct politics and participate in elections without hesitation. That I regret to inform you the Election Commission, in government structure on this basis, while such administratively improper, undemocratic, unconstitutional approaches are being implemented by the rulers and the representatives of the people act in practice in the country. Since the Anbu Udhayam Kachchi is directly affected in practically continuously like this by these reasons, is now in a situation where it is withdrawing from registration at the party level from the Election Commission of India. That as a president of Anbu Udhayam Kachchi, I inform our party stance. In the current political situation, this is nothing a failure for Anbu Udhayam Kachchi politics. At the same time, where our India country gained independence from British imperialism in the 15th of August 1947, and according to the political rights granted to its citizens as per the Constitution of India the 26th of January 1950. Now in the democratic country India, after 64 years, Anbu Udhayam Kachchi is registered party with the Election Commission of India in Republic of India in the 13th of March 2013. In this situation, it is not necessary to fight so hard. Anbu Udhayam politics has to struggle so much for these undesirable, illegal and fraudulent activities of these fellow citizens, who are in the leadership position of power, both respectively the ruling party that runs the government and the opposition party that participates in the government. Maybe the parties which are registered and also recognized as political parties by the Election Commission of India. But this is what I have been coming to met for the last 25 years under my political identity of Anbu Udayam. This is how administrative irregularities are quietly taking place at the level of those in power as the rulers and representatives of the people. The Election Commission of India should provide the answer as to what Anbu Udayam Kachchi should do to counter this. It would be good if the Election Commission provided the response. It will help to Anbu Udayam Kachchi, which is registered party by the Election Commission of India. In democratic country of India, the ruling party that runs the government keeping people under compulsion, socially and politically among the people. Politics of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi is not allowed to move to the next stage of governance evolution. And now like this by that atrocities of the rulers has created only this temporary obstacles to Anbu Udayam politics. That's how I see this. But now, by sending from the Election Commission of India a show cause notice to Anbu Udayam Kachchi dated the 12th of August 2025. We consider that for Anbu Udayam politics has been granted freedom from its party registration status by the Election Commission of India. Now, when these registered and also recognized parties come to participate in elections as a political party on the beginning period of the party, after returning from being in that voter candidate status and coming back being as the people's representative in that government for a while, when they have those government structures while power in their possession, those who acted without control in their positions in the government structure, even after that term of office, that in order to want the political arena, the election arena, the government to be all around them, so in order to maintain themselves this representative position again and again at their disposal through the electoral arena, and in order to maintain as fellow candidates continuously themselves in the election, in order to maintain as a member themselves in the government. We have witnessed firsthand how they act against the fellow citizens, all seen by our Anbu Udayam Kachchi. How do the rulers, they violate the political rights and political freedom and political protection granted to their citizens by the Constitution. How they administratively destroy it, they undermine the law and order of the country, how they behave contrary to democracy in the electoral arena and political arena, and how they act against their fellow citizens in improper administratively while in their possession government departments as the ruling party in the government in practice every time on the ground. From the political arena and electoral arena that we have fully understood how difficult it is to administratively handle these parties, those in government that are conducting the government in this way, in committing such atrocities, irregularities, scam, injustice, fraud and anarchies etc. against fellow citizens in the nation in the democratic system. On behalf of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi, which is registered party with the Election Commission of India, against this activities fraudulent to be their possession government as ruling party of these political parties, which are registered and recognized in the Election Commission of India, are being dealt with us administratively this. However, government departments officials within the administrative structure are failing to take official and proper administrative action in this matter, unable to take action against them, are remaining silent. Under these circumstances, how can we react against them? As like they, if we react, wouldn't that mean we have accepted all their improper actions as is legitimate? Now in this period in practice, if it is considered a normal matter that, at the same time if we remain silent on this matter, won't they considering that we encouraging them and make the situation in the country even worse? We will be seen as encouraging them and afterwards the situation will only get worse in the country. Anbu Udayam Kachchi runs the party in accordance with law and order. How can we take up anarchy in that case against them to be so? Will it make sense for us to continue running the Anbu Udayam Kachchi party in the democratic country India after this? If so, that the leader of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi Sembootsei M. Subhash Babu, I am asking this question to the Election Commission of India from an administrative perspective in democratic system. What can I say about my 147 crore fellow people at this point? They are the ones who need to understand it politically from a social perspective in democratic country. If each of the letters written on behalf of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi to the executive head of the union government and the President of India are sent to the Tamil Nadu government as government files for official administrative action, the Tamil Nadu ruling party government does not take appropriate action at the relevant administrative department levels, but in this instead submits it to the Tamil Nadu State Police through the State Home Police, and police action is taken through the local Gudalur North Police Station where the Anbu Udayam Kachchi's office is located. To this ruling parties, which is a registered and recognized party with the Election Commission of India at the same time as a ruling party in the government, does not take anyone administrative action at the relevant department levels on the letters politically written to government on behalf of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi which registered with the Election Commission of India. The Anbu Udayam Kachchi which is registered as a political party with the Election Commission of India is administratively coming to act as a party and is involved in the political activities of the people in the country in contribution polling the vote as a voter participation contests as a candidate in the elections. But on behalf of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi because of which is not the representatives of the people elected in the election by the fellow voters. This doesn't participate as the member in Union Parliament and any state legislative assembly. Therefore, when to these parties in national level and state level in the Union of India and state of Tamil Nadu being his ruling party in the government, on behalf of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi informs the government of matters based on welfare and security of the nation and people politically through letters and asks for administratively related departmental action in this. They do not take anything action based on the essence of the letter matter at the administrative level and try to cover up finishing through police the relevant matter in it and act in efforts in a way that tarnishes the reputation of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi concerned that brought the matter. While the Anbu Udayam Kachchi, a political party registered with the Election Commission of India, on the 13th of March 2013, is still being in operation. The police department in its investigating report dated the 2nd of July 2019 did not record in it any as it is the details as based on the matters in the Anbu Udayam Kachchi 10 letters. And did not record it in just properly administratively police the essence of the letters matter, and in this instead recorded in it wrong, false, fraudulent, fabricated and fake details in the police department in their investigation report handling government its office files on the Anbu Udayam Kachchi that brought the matter, its party's registration, its party president, general secretary, executives and members, thereby destroying the Anbu Udayam Kachchi's political structure, reducing the Anbu Udayam Kachchi's democratic credibility, and causing to usurp political rights of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi's president, general secretary, executives and members, are taking to try through respectively ruling party running the government and opposition party participating in government to make loose the strong the politically beliefs of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi in the democratic country India, psychologically from subconscious through this government's police department. The police force, which is responsible for ensuring the security of the domestic people of the country in maintaining a peaceful environment based on law and order at the state level within the country, operates administrative from a department within a state government structure. Furthermore, police, they have to work under a government run by the ruling party like other departments in. With ruling party in state level in the government which consist of their representatives elected by the people through election for state legislative assembly held every 5 years once. In a democratic country India, union, state, local bodies, defense, in government departments servants such as officers and staffs etc. In these people are bewildered about what they should do. What they should know, knowing about anything nothing about the democracy, government, nation, people, citizens, voters, candidates, politics, and elections etc. This is in their situation even while working in government structure departments such as the executive, parliament, legislature, judiciary, election commission and defense security forces. But in such situations, when citizens from ordinary backgrounds in the social structure lose faith on their representatives who elected through elections, and when the thought arises in their deep minds that this our fellow human beings are destroyed the welfare and safety in the country by the ruling parties who are the people's representatives in the government, they think there is no point in trusting them anymore. At that time, the people keep in mind carefully that as citizens of a democratic country, we should not be misled by the atrocities of these rulers. And we should not deviate from our political path in it a contradictory manner. In this current temporary frustration, in this lack of trust, in disbelief in our representatives, that Democrat thinks that, what is the alternative to this, and decides to enter politics as a solution. Like that, as soon as they decide to enter politics, that person people transforms into a citizen, a politician, a Democrat. In a democracy, the last political refuge for citizens is election. As a last resort, in that elections, remember that the people, the citizens, decide that we no longer need the current rulers. Our present representatives don't need to participate in the related parliamentary legislative government for us, they should only be democratically eligible fellow voters in our society, and should refrain from politically participating as candidates in the elections. We need security socially, and we will must create it administratively in the government, waiting for the elections that come every 5 years once, and contributing as voters in the political rights of the citizens, participating democratically as candidates in the elections with the support of fellow citizens of the democratic country of India, and implementing it administratively in the government, individual, people, as a fellow citizen in a society, a fellow voter, a candidate in political party, a representative in election, and members in a ruling party opposition party in a parliament and legislature. However, the democratic approach of the ruling party in Indian politics is completely different in this regard. Here, where there is a government, related parliament and legislature members in this ruling party and opposition party acts as persons who as representatives, candidates, fellow voters, and fellow citizens, who are elected by their fellow people. In the ruling party that does all this being in the government, the people's representatives elected by the voters, from them. Not only because of this irregular democracy governance political fraud, but also because of such an irregularities administrative and bureaucratic system at the departmental levels, and by the officials and employees appointed by the government, and because of this irregular democratic administrative fraud, thus has greatly affected the politics of our Anbu Udayam Kachchi by them during the last 12 years when we were in politics and elections in democratic manner. It may have happened in some other system of governance regimes in this all in the world, but based on the leadership of our Anbu Udayam Kachchi, I will be the leader who have faced all this in this 21st century with a democratic system of governance. Regarding it, Whenever I personally informed the government administratively through several letters from the Anbu Udayam party about the details of the political and electoral in the field worst events in it I faced and witnessed on that ground. They, who as representatives of the people and the ruling party in the government, these things they are affected by, so, they in an unaffected way have been committing all these political atrocities against the Anbu Udayam party to completely are disposed and eliminate urgently from their relevant letters of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi in this government office files of the ruling party rulers within their term of office. In a democratic country, these letters of Anbu Udayam Kachchi, the genuine political observations of an ordinary citizen, reveal the truth about those who portray in the country themselves as honest Mr. Clean people's representatives by holding positions in the government as members of the Union Parliament and the state legislatures in it. So, ruling party have behaving such atrocity in this manner precisely to Anbu Udayam Kachchi because of these parties placing Union Parliament and state legislature themselves after that in party status, even being in government their politics will be completely administratively influenced by the other structures of government. So they fear that through their actual political character will be revealed in official file records by Anbu Udayam Kachchi. They also will be lost credibility in people that so. This will pave the way for the politics of Anbu Udayam Kachchi among our fellow peoples. To avoid this circumstances, although in the case in this action of the ruling party these two parties respectively, this is their individual human inherent nature. All these people undemocratic actions of them have negatively impacted the whole politics of our Anbu Udayam party in every way in democracy. As the leader of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi, as matured Democrat, I am still enduring all the pains in democratic ethics. In democratic country India, these are the questions that, the leader of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi Sembootsei M.Subash Babu, I would like to ask the Election Commission of India regarding these matters. Now, who is going to take action regarding these issues raised here by the Anbu Udayam Kachchi before you? Will either the Election Commission of India or judiciary take action on this political issue? In this it's possible in administratively. Why are appropriate actions not being taken by the concerned through administrative departments for those victims in the country like this? In this, why does the police department, like all other departments in the government, guide the affected people to the court based on their representative who are the members of parliament, legislative assemblies and local bodies? Why does the police department interfere arbitrarily in with the affected public regarding all matters that should be addressed through administrative departments? Even there, we, as Indian citizens, those who have been elected as our people's representatives through elections of the from among the members of registered and also recognized national level and state level political parties by the Election Commission of India. And all of them are in the ruling party and opposition party positions as the members of Union Parliament, state legislative assemblies, and local bodies. Only the ruling party runs the government. Along with them, the opposition parties are also participating in the government, and they interfere in all government structure departments and government institutions, including the administration, judiciary, Election Commission, and Controllers and Auditor General of India etc., as well as in the media too, apart from the Union Parliament and state legislative assemblies. Given this situation, in the country, to those affected by them, regardless of how many elections are held in the country, or how many regime changes there are happening, or no matter how many ruling party change, or how many representatives elected by the citizens to change in between these parties in two national level and two state level in election. Before and after, the affected people continue to struggle and wander around to obtain a judgment on paper form from the court in judiciary. After they get their verdict, then continue to next round of struggle to fulfill it. Yet, in the country, in the name of politics, for such a long time even since Indian independence, only these two national level parties, two state level parties which is registered and also recognized, two national level parties and two state level parties by the Election Commission of India, have been continuously together alternating between themselves in Union Parliament and state legislature as the ruling party and opposition party positions in the Union government and state government. It is in parties level this changes through elections. Sometimes stage the ruling party becomes the opposition or remains in the same position, and accordingly, the opposition party also remains in its usual position. On the basis that the Anbu Udayam Kachchi, registered with the Election Commission of India, is not a party started by celebrities, but by someone from the masses of the common people and has a strong structure in its basic principle political philosophy. We are being victimized by these atrocities by their representatives, those elected by the masses from in the members of these two recognized parties. Contrary to democratic practice for merely political reasons, without being allowed to freely conduct politics in the country and not to let participating in elections for people's rule, Anbu Udayam Kachchi are being affected like this by these people's representatives who are members of the main parties in their direct and or indirect alliance parties in the registered and also recognized national level and state level political parties by the Election Commission of India, who should take action against them themselves, in such matters. In democratic country this situation, how will these people's representatives who are in these positions to implement available to verdict this court's ruling verdict against themselves upon them? Who are these representatives who in favor of their people who victims in office departmentally and administratively in government, to take action against them upon themselves? What are they? Are political saints in democracy? What else can we expect from these undemocratic scoundrels who were elected by the people without any understanding about knowledge of politics? Apart from, without the support of this people's representatives who running the government, who from the government department position, as officials, who will implement this in full responsibility in democracy? Who do the officials working in the government sector in a democracy have such courage and bold? Is it possible to act like this in a democratic country, defying them that the elected representatives by people in government? If so, how will the concerned administrative departments in the government structure implement this? How will the people's representatives and the officials implement this through this process? From within the government structure through departments act by officials merely in office administration level. What is the use in democracy? Who benefits from in this? What happens actually in a democratic country? Here people no one benefits from this type of ruling party administrative manipulation. And all the victim it is left with the reason to them for what happened be remains, but they are paralyzed, are going to be paralyzed like that in house. But these criminals will keep doing it with confidence like this continuously without fear and self-control over the law in the country. This is the condition of the masses in a democratic country. What can they do? Seeing situations like this, the Anbu Udayam Kachchi entered in politics to resolve from this in the government. When affected for mere political reasons, individuals like Sembootsei M. Subhash Babu, the president of Anbu Udayam Kachchi, which is registered by the Election Commission of India, through this fellow citizens elected as representatives who are in the members of the Union Parliament and state legislatures and rulers as in Union government and state government, and those party which all are as the members of the parties are registered and also recognized as parties in national level and state level by the Election Commission of India. Is an ordinary citizens without this introduction of Anbu Udayam Kachchi President Sembootsei M. Subhash Babu to become the beneficiaries in a democratic country India? In democratic country, India. If such things continues to happen to an ordinary citizen who is not celebrity and does not unknown acquaintance, is there any administratively solution for such political issues in the democracy? Is there any time limit to resolve this matter in a administratively among political parties? Is there an end to solve such things in politics? That Anbu Udayam Kachchi which is registered party in Election Commission of India is put this all the questions in front of you Election Commission of India. According to the Indian Constitutional of 1950 and the Representation of the People Act, 1951. Does the Election Commission of India have any answers to these questions raised by the Anbu Udayam Kachchi regarding these matters? Is registering parties in office level of the Election Commission of India and conducting elections on the field for these parties, that therefore in this regard, I request the Election Commission of India, which is carrying out these tasks, to obtain asking a proper response to these questions from the Anbu Udayam Kachchi, a party registered with the Election Commission of India, from the Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court of India and to inform me, the party leader and an ordinary citizen of the 147 crore people of the Republic of India, Sembootsei M. Subhash Babu, in an administrative and official manner. In democratic country India. In our past political journey of Anbu Udayam Kachchi happened this worst things like this. Is this just a personal home issue of at his own level for an individual concerned only? Or is it a national level country issue? Or is this not a issue? That, in this, the most important thing is which of these three questions should we consider here? Party President Sembootsei M. Subhash Babu on behalf of Anbu Udayam Kachchi I put in front of you. Are our elected representatives of the people from the ruling party and opponent party and their direct and or indirect alliance parties run our government as members of the Union Parliament and state legislatures, and acting the government with selected by government to the officials as servants working the government departments. Seeing this like in these persons all our Anbu Udayam Kachchi deviates from this politics point of view vision, are acting in an improper administrative manner in government. This is very dangerous to democracy. We can subconsciously sense without room for any arguments that they at government department level in that being administratively approachable in the nature of the problems of the affected people by them, are only engaging in actions that limit controlling the nature of the matters of the victim concerned. When the only matters is viewed in isolation by us, they are in the government departments administratively action takeable accountable in the matters. However, they didn't act like that, does not act like that. It is only on the basis of mine being honest, both in my personal life and political activities, that I am able to present to you now publicly without hiding anything all this matters herewith so. Courage. I am not the someone who is not price in politics. After I entered politics, the ruling party, they also put a price on me. It, in my personal political identity of Anbu Udayam. In the 2009 Kumbam Legislative Assembly constituency by-election, when I contested the election as the Anbu Udayam People's candidate, I was in my election campaign in full swing there in whole Kumbam constituency from the 4th of August 2009 to the 16th of August 2009. In between these days one day, a news reporter came to me and asked that I will arrange to meet the son of the ruling party's Dravida Munnetra Kalagam, DMK party, leader, Mr. M. Karunanidhi. He is in Kambam constituency itself. Are you meeting him? I will take you up there, and I refused to accept that meeting. After that, before the 2014 Indian parliamentary general elections, the book launch ceremony of Anbu Udayam, Holy Book of Politics on behalf of the Anbu Udayam Kachchi with the women members of the party was held very well on the 27th of February 2014 at the Sri Alamelu Manga Kalyana Mandapam in Chennai. While I was there with our party Anbu Udayam Kachchi members and office bearers, one of the people visitor who came there after speaking to me for a couple of minutes and then took note my mobile number. After a while, he called me on his mobile phone from outside and remembered me about the details of his meeting with me. Then he introduced himself and asked on his mobile phone that, I am taking you to the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kalagam, AIADMK party, leadership. Will you meet him? Shall I make arrangements for that? I refused to accept the meeting. He asked me why you are refusing this. I am doing politics against them. How can I meet them? Why should I meet them? When I told him our Anbu Udayam political stance that I have come to conduct politics as the third leadership in national level and state level from Tamil Nadu against these two parties' leaderships, he without saying anything further simply told me, take note at my mobile number. If you have any opinion on this, call me, he concluded after speaking. In these two different periods, one time the Dravida Munnetra Kalagam DMK party and another time the All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kalagam AIADMK party respectively were in power in Tamil Nadu as the ruling parties. In this, leading parties being in power came forward to pay me a great price for my politics. I conducted my politics honestly and did electioneering, competing in my election fields sincerely in my fieldwork. Now also I have been in the politics by giving up as like this opportunities that come in my way. When the General Secretary Shri S. Mohan, who was with me from the being at every stage in my politics work, asked me that, why shouldn't you take advantage of these opportunities that come across in your politics? Why are you like this in denial? I told him as if I knew nothing about in matters concerning this. Why do they say they want to see me? What do they have in common relationship with me? To this, he said, why else? They'll give you 2 suitcases, a lot of money. They'll give you a car. You have to buy it. That's all. All this will you become comfort, right? Other than this, what else do you want? And he asked me again, everyone here is in the manner in politics. Why are you the one saying you don't want it? Everyone thinks that. Politics is it means like this. All politicians think that. Politics it is like this. I've seen it all. Everyone in politics is like that. But I won't be like that in politics. I don't want anything from politics of that. I'll be honest in politics like this. This is how I'll conduct my politics, I said to him. Anbu Udayam citizens own politics.